The tale of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is among England's most enduring ghost stories, intricately woven with the history of Raynham Hall, a grand and imposing mansion located in Norfolk. Built in 1619, Raynham Hall was the ancestral home of the powerful Townsend family, known for their wealth, influence, and, eventually, for the eerie specters said to roam its halls. Raynham Hall's haunting atmosphere can be traced back to Lady Dorothy Walpole, a woman of beauty and prominence. Born in 1686, Dorothy was the daughter of Robert Walpole, a notable politician of the era, and the sister of Sir Robert Walpole, who would later become Britain's first Prime Minister. Despite her family's prominence and wealth, Dorothy's life took a tragic turn when she became involved with Charles Townsend, a man infamous for his violent temper and intense jealousy. The circumstances around Dorothy's relationship with Townsend vary depending on the account, but most versions agree that Charles suspected Dorothy of having an affair. The marriage between Dorothy and Charles Townsend was fraught with rumors of jealousy, control, and, ultimately, confinement. Charles reportedly kept Dorothy in near-complete isolation within Raynham Hall, seldom allowing her contact with the outside world. While official records state that Dorothy died of smallpox in 1726, many believe that her death was due to a broken spirit or perhaps more sinister causes. Stories suggest she may have been locked away, and some versions even claim she perished in confinement, cut off from loved ones and mistreated until her untimely death. This grim history would give birth to one of England's most chilling ghost stories, The Haunting of the Brown Lady. It's said that after her death, Dorothy's spirit could not find peace and continued to roam the halls of Raynham, dressed in the brown gown she favored in life, hence her enduring nickname, the Brown Lady. Descriptions of her apparition are consistently unsettling. She is said to appear with a calm but sorrowful expression, her empty eye sockets a haunting reminder of her supposed suffering. This eerie, hollow-eyed visage has made the Brown Lady one of the most distinctive and unforgettable figures in English ghost lore. Raynham Hall's haunting became widely known during the 19th century, but whispers of Dorothy's ghostly presence likely circulated among locals even earlier. By the early 1800s, accounts of encounters with the Brown Lady started to surface more frequently. One of the earliest and most famous sightings occurred in the early 1830s, reported by Major Loftus, a guest at Raynham Hall. During his stay, Major Loftus claimed to have encountered a figure clad in a brown dress, with an expression that was both vacant and tragic. This sighting marked the beginning of a series of similar encounters that would secure the Brown Lady's place in paranormal history. In the years that followed, additional visitors to Raynham Hall reported seeing the ghostly figure of Lady Dorothy. Many claimed that her spectral form would glide silently through corridors or vanish suddenly around corners, as if aware of the observer yet lost in her own world. Over time, these sightings cemented the Brown Lady as one of England's most notorious ghosts, her spectral image becoming synonymous with the mansion and its mysterious aura. It was during this period that tales of the Brown Lady transcended local folklore, captivating the imaginations of people across England and sparking an enduring fascination with her tragic story. The recurring sightings of Lady Dorothy's apparition have kept her legend alive for nearly 2 centuries, and her story continues to resonate with those who hear it. For many, the tragedy of her life and the circumstances of her death make the tales of her haunting seem all the more plausible, as if her spirit lingers in a place where it suffered, unable to escape the turmoil of the past. This blend of historical intrigue and supernatural mystery sets the stage for the Brown Lady's infamous legacy, which would gain even more attention and validation with the events that unfolded in the following century. The haunting of Raynham Hall by the Brown Lady gained widespread attention through early encounters, marking it as one of the most infamous ghost stories of the 19th century. Accounts of the spectral figure believed to be Lady Dorothy Walpole appeared as early as the 1830s. One of the most widely circulated and chilling stories involves Major Loftus, a guest at the Hall in 1835. Loftus had heard local whispers about an apparition, but nothing could have prepared him for what he would witness. One evening during his stay, Major Loftus saw a woman roaming the corridors. She wore a dated brown satin dress and moved gracefully, with an air of sadness surrounding her. Loftus and his companion later described her face as hauntingly pale, but the most disturbing detail was her eyes, or rather, the absence of them. Her eye sockets appeared hollow, empty voids that conveyed an eerie sense of sorrow and detachment. This hollow-eyed apparition left Loftus deeply shaken, and his report soon circulated among friends and family, stirring curiosity and fear alike. Encounters with the brown lady continued, with visitors reporting similar features: the brown dress, her empty gaze, and her sorrowful expression. Each sighting strengthened her legend and created a portrait of a lost soul, forever bound to the corridors of Raynham Hall. The house staff and Townsend family members reportedly saw the brown lady as well, and their descriptions matched those of outsiders, reinforcing the mystery surrounding Dorothy's life and tragic death. Years later, in 1836, Captain Frederick Marryat, a novelist known for his adventurous tales, stayed at Raynham Hall to witness the ghost for himself. Marryat was a skeptic and sought to debunk the ghost story. However, his experience led him to reconsider his stance. While walking down a dimly lit corridor one night, Marryat claimed he saw the brown lady approaching him. Initially, he took it for a prank or someone playing dress-up, but as she drew closer, Marryat reportedly felt a chill and noticed her hollow eyes. Panicked, he fired a gun at the figure, only to find she had disappeared. This experience left Marryat rattled, and he later admitted that he couldn't explain what he had seen. Reports like Marryat's added weight to the brown lady's story, and her fame grew beyond Norfolk, reaching London and capturing the public's imagination. The fascination wasn't just due to the repeated sightings, but also to the consistent, distinctive features described by witnesses. Lady Dorothy's sorrowful appearance, her brown dress, and her haunting gaze made her one of the most recognized ghostly figures in British folklore. People from nearby towns, intrigued by the possibility of seeing her, began visiting Raynham Hall, though only a few claimed to have witnessed her. The brown lady's fame gradually established her as a figure of mystery and tragedy, a woman locked in the halls of her home, separated from peace and left to wander endlessly. As the story of the brown lady circulated, various theories emerged. Some claimed that she appeared as a warning to the Townsend family, while others believed she was a tragic figure unable to rest due to her mistreatment. Certain local legends asserted that she was tied to a specific object in the hall or a specific room, perhaps the very place where she suffered. This idea sparked curiosity about which areas she might haunt and raised questions about the true nature of her spectral presence. By the late 1800s, the brown lady had become a subject of fascination for both ghost hunters and casual enthusiasts of the supernatural. Her story fit neatly into the growing interest in ghost lore, and she became a central figure in the wave of Victorian ghost stories that captivated the British public. Theories and interpretations multiplied as people tried to make sense of her appearances. Was she a vengeful spirit, a heartbroken ghost, or simply an image from a tragic past? Even those who didn't believe in ghosts found the tale compelling, drawn to the mystery of Dorothy's life, her unexplained death, and her lingering presence. The brown lady's story began to overshadow the historical significance of Raynham Hall, turning the mansion into a landmark of supernatural lore. Raynham became known not just for its architecture or the powerful Townsend family, but for the tragic figures seen wandering its halls. This notoriety continued into the 20th century, where interest in the supernatural was revived by new discoveries and a growing fascination with photography, setting the stage for an event in 1936 that would solidify the brown lady's place in the annals of paranormal history. The story of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall took a dramatic turn in 1936, an era when interest in paranormal phenomena was steadily rising. Raynham Hall had already gained notoriety from sightings of the Brown Lady throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, but it was a photograph taken in September 1936 that propelled her story onto the world stage, making the Brown Lady an icon of the supernatural. The photo was taken by two photographers, Captain Hubert C. Provand and Indra Shearer, who were on assignment for Country Life magazine. They were photographing the historic interiors of Raynham Hall for an article focused on the architecture of the estate. The photo shoot had gone smoothly until, while setting up a shot of the main staircase, Shearer reportedly saw a misty figure descending the stairs. Startled, he shouted to Provand, who, although initially skeptical, quickly set up to capture what Shearer saw. Shearer managed to press the shutter, capturing an image that would become one of the most famous ghost photographs in history. When the photograph was developed, it revealed a figure with a veiled, ethereal quality, appearing on the staircase with a shape and outline that seemed disturbingly human yet spectral. The figure was draped in a faint, brownish hue, reminiscent of descriptions of the brown lady's attire in earlier accounts. The image captured public fascination because it provided what many believed was solid evidence of the existence of ghosts. Country Life published the photograph with an article in December 1936, and it immediately generated a wave of interest, speculation, and debate. The photograph of the brown lady quickly circulated among paranormal investigators, skeptics, and general readers alike. For many, this image was the ultimate proof that ghosts could indeed exist. While some dismissed it as an elaborate hoax or photographic error, others viewed it as undeniable evidence of Dorothy Walpole's lingering spirit. Paranormal enthusiasts praised the photo as a rare and authentic capture of a ghost, while skeptics offered various explanations ranging from light leaks to reflections. This photograph also inspired further analysis from experts. Various investigators examined the image, testing for possible explanations. Skeptics argued that the ghostly figure could be a result of a double exposure or even a trick of the light interacting with the staircase. However, supporters of its authenticity noted that the photograph had been taken in one continuous exposure, which ruled out double exposure as an explanation. Additionally, both Pravin and Shira insisted on the validity of their experience and stood by the authenticity of the photograph, even under intense scrutiny. Over time, the image of the brown lady became iconic within both paranormal research and popular culture. Numerous newspapers, magazines, and journals covered the story, leading to debates among scientists, spiritualists, and the general public. The photograph of the brown lady was particularly significant during a period when spiritualism and interest in the afterlife were on the rise. The image seemed to serve as tangible evidence to believers who were fascinated by the possibility of life after death, while providing skeptics with a case to challenge and debunk. One of the most compelling aspects of this photograph's impact is the emotional response it evoked. People felt drawn to the brown lady not just because of her eerie appearance, but because of the tragic narrative attached to her. The idea of a restless spirit doomed to wander the halls where she had lived and suffered struck a chord with those who saw the image. Even those who had never been to Raynham Hall felt a connection to the legend of Dorothy Walpole. As a result, the brown lady became more than just a ghost. She was seen as a symbol of tragedy, perhaps a soul-seeking resolution to a story cut short. The photograph of the brown lady did more than simply draw attention to Raynham Hall. It added a layer of depth to English folklore, becoming a case study in paranormal literature and frequently appearing in books, articles, and documentaries. Her story came to represent the archetypal haunted house tale, an unsettling mixture of history, mystery, and the unknown. This photograph is still widely analyzed and discussed today, both by those who seek to prove its authenticity and those who aim to explain it rationally. Decades after it was taken, the image remains a source of fascination and is often cited as one of the most compelling pieces of ghostly evidence in existence. The legacy of the 1936 photograph extended well beyond the paranormal community. It influenced popular culture, inspiring countless works of fiction and even changing public perceptions about what it means for a place to be haunted. Raynham Hall became a destination for thrill seekers and those interested in the supernatural, with visitors hoping to catch a glimpse of the brown lady for themselves. Today, the image continues to circulate, captivating new generations of those who are drawn to the mystery of the unknown. The brown lady's story and her famous photograph became foundational in paranormal folklore, representing the enduring mystery of ghosts and what they might reveal about life and death. Some believe that her spirit still walks the halls of Raynham, drawn by some unresolved sorrow or a deep connection to her former life. Others are convinced that the photograph is simply an illusion. But regardless of one's stance, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall remains a figure of intrigue and a timeless symbol of the haunted, unquiet past. The story of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall transcends a simple ghost tale. It has evolved into an enduring legend that continues to captivate people worldwide. While many ghost stories fade over time, the legend of the Brown Lady has grown. partly due to the 1936 photograph, but also due to the allure of Lady Dorothy Walpole's tragic life and her purported eternal presence. The Brown Lady has influenced not only paranormal enthusiasts, but also historians, psychologists, and cultural critics who explore her story's impact on perceptions of death, the supernatural, and historical memory. One reason the Brown Lady's story endures is the resonance of Dorothy Walpole's life. Hers was a life marked by restriction, isolation, and sorrow. This narrative resonates on a human level, as many see her not just as a ghost, but as a symbol of unresolved pain. The haunting of Raynham Hall thus captures a timeless theme, the idea of spirits that cannot find peace due to unfulfilled or troubled lives. For those who believe in the supernatural, Lady Dorothy's ghost symbolizes a search for resolution that transcends death, hinting at what might happen when injustices remain unanswered. As public interest in ghosts and hauntings grew in the 20th century, the Brown Lady became one of the archetypal ghosts in literature, films, and television. Her story inspired other ghost tales, creating a model for haunted house narratives that blend tragic backstories with supernatural phenomena. This trope of a restless spirit trapped in a grand, empty mansion, forever bound to its corridors, has since been adapted into countless horror stories and films. Characters based on the Brown Lady, or stories drawing parallels to her experience, appear in popular media, creating an atmosphere of sorrow, suspense, and mystery around haunted estates. Raynham Hall itself remains a popular destination for those intrigued by the Brown Lady's story. Visitors often express a mix of fascination and trepidation, wondering if they might witness her spectral form. Even though the Townsend family no longer opens Raynham Hall to public tours as frequently as in the past, the estate continues to draw attention from paranormal investigators, historians, and curious visitors hoping to experience the ghostly atmosphere described in so many accounts. Despite the skepticism that many bring, the legend of the Brown Lady has created a lasting draw to Raynham Hall as a place of mystery and historical intrigue. In addition to the tourism and media attention, the story of the Brown Lady has become a case study in the psychology of fear and belief. The photograph taken in 1936 is still analyzed by skeptics and believers alike, serving as a focal point for discussions about human perception, memory, and the desire to find evidence of the supernatural. The Brown Lady's story taps into a collective fascination with life after death, reflecting society's interest in what lies beyond. For psychologists and sociologists, the persistence of her tale highlights how stories of haunting are often intertwined with unresolved history, trauma, and the human need to connect with those who have passed. The Brown Lady's story is further preserved by organizations and publications dedicated to paranormal research and English folklore. The Norfolk Record Office, for instance, has documented her story as part of the region's rich cultural heritage. Books, articles, and documentaries revisit her tale, emphasizing the historical elements of Lady Dorothy's life, the mysterious circumstances of her death, and the fascinating persistence of her ghostly legend. These resources help keep her story alive for new generations, blending history with folklore to create an educational yet eerie experience that reaches audiences far beyond Norfolk. Even today, modern paranormal researchers continue to investigate the Brown Lady phenomenon, using advanced technology to analyze the 1936 photograph and explore Raynham Hall. Some employ digital tools to test for visual anomalies, while others use recording equipment to detect possible voices or sounds. Although no conclusive evidence has emerged, these investigations reflect an ongoing curiosity about the unknown. Whether viewed as an unsolved mystery or an eerie illusion, the Brown Lady's story endures, providing fertile ground for those seeking answers about the paranormal. Her legacy also extends into the realm of historical justice. Some view her as a symbol of those in history who were silenced, confined, or mistreated. The story of Dorothy Walpole's alleged confinement and death evokes empathy and draws attention to the struggles faced by women of her time. As the cultural understanding of ghost stories evolves, many now see the Brown Lady as more than a frightening apparition. She represents those whose voices were lost to history. Her continued presence in Raynham Hall's halls symbolizes the endurance of memory, the persistence of the past, and the power of storytelling to keep history alive. In the end, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall remains one of the most compelling ghost stories in English history, her image forever etched into the minds of those who have encountered her tale. Her story is a reminder that the past lingers, and that certain histories refuse to remain silent. The Brown Lady has become a symbol of unresolved sorrow, a piece of folklore that speaks to human curiosity and fear, and a testament to how stories can shape our understanding of history and the unknown. The haunting of Raynham Hall thus serves as a bridge between the historical and the supernatural, between what is known and what remains just beyond our reach.